Here he is, the big funny ginger duck. Hey Muscovy. I'm not going to talk any misery today. Some beautiful colours. So Mrs. Muscovy, I'm assuming that's a female, she seems to have had a divorce with Mr. Muscovy, because he lives down here in the other pond, and they used to share a little island together. Those ginkgos are lovely this time of year. Apparently the ginkgo has it's a health supplement, but I can't remember which part of the tree they use. It does smell pretty bad this time of year. Yeah, it's meant to be good for the cardiovascular, I think. Really balmy day here. I don't know if balmy is a word that is common to describe a like warm kind of day. Someone told me they'd never heard that term before. So it's nor'wester today. We get these big like cloud arch formations in the sky on a nor'wester day. Here comes Mr. Muscovy. He's looking happier since he split from his missus. He's more ravenous for the seed. Drown your sorrows, buddy. Or, you know, a celebratory toast, whichever it is. Don't have too much. So anyone who saw my original videos, there was a black duck that used to maraud around here, Lord Black Paradise, and he was a really funny duck. That was his throne over there, and his missus and him would sit there, and it was a prime spot for him to get his his narcissistic supply or whatever. He would wait for people to walk by, because it's quite a busy little section of the park. He would lower his head and go like do-do-do-do-do-do, and he would run and bite them on the back of the legs. It was really good fun to watch. He's a real character, and even though I had severe PTSD, he was great for breaking you out of the dark ruminations. I'd be walking down there and he would bide his time, and he would fly. He would fly from there and land on my head and chop me in the temple with his wing, and it really fucking hurt. Actually, I'll show you his private island anyway if anyone's interested. Anyone who missed the original videos. Sorry ducks, I'm busy at the moment. So him and his missus, they would go to bed on there. That was his private island, and I'd try to like sneak past him at night, and he'd hear me coming, and he'd like honk a couple of times, and I'd be like hiding behind here, and he would just like, I'd hear like flapping, and then he'd be like, surprise MFer, and he'd like land on my back, and I'd feel these two duck feet like touch down, and he'd just perch on my back. Sorry, ducky. There you go. See, I do miss him. I think they took him away. He was like above the law because he's a paradise duck, and they're a native protected species here. So I don't know. Like I have my suspicions what happened to him, but no one will acknowledge it. It's kind of like what should happen to those who, I won't even go there. the pests up, try to dominate our park. But so there's another family of 11 little ducklings here somewhere. They really do get around the park. The first night they were here, and then the next night they were. She must have got fed up, the mother duck, and she went and like sat on a big island that's in the middle of the biggest pond, and no one could get near her. So, she probably got a nice wee break there. What way do I want to go? I did have a moment with the black duck. I was standing here and he saw me from over there, and there was actually a witness, which made it kind of cool. And he flew up. He like played chicken with me, and I went like that to defend myself. And he landed on my forearm, and we stared each other down for about 5 seconds. And the guy looked on in amazement, like it was intentional. It kind of looked like I was an Arabian falconer, and he was like my falcon, and it's pretty funny. That's the curse of videography, is you end up missing all the best shots. Oi duckies, watch out, there's a dog there. You end up missing the amazing, the absolute best stuff, because it's usually just so spontaneous. Another those poor ducks. These people bring dogs into the park, and the ducks get all wound up. The other amazing fucking shot that I missed, long story, but there was some quail running in a line there. I should tell it in order because it's a cool story, but I haven't got any time. There's people coming. There's these quail running in a line here. I don't know if you know quail. They keep like perfect space and pace, and they're running in this little tribe together. And there's like through this gap that I just filmed, this gap here, I spotted like 3 quail, and they ran by in this line, and I shit you not, there was a duckling in the line. And he was upright. You know how ducklings sometimes run up with standing upright with their wings out? And this little duckling was running in the line, and then there was another quail behind him, and he had joined them. It was so fucking funny. And that duckling was like the night before, I had seen him in this pond alone. I watched him for about an hour, and his mother wasn't anywhere to be seen, and it was getting dark. And so I thought, I better take him home, because there's a lot of rats here, and he'll be a goner if he has to go out alone overnight. And so had him at home in my bed, and I was trying not to like roll over on him or anything and crush him. And 6 in the morning, and it's like chirp, 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 you know, high-pitched duck noise, and he wouldn't stop, so I had to get up, and I took him down to the park, and I introduced him to a mother duck, and she seemed to accept him. And then like a little bit later, she like chased him out of there, and so I was like, oh shit, and I had to go away, do something, and then came back to check on him later on, and yeah, that's when I saw him with the quail, running in with the quail and the line, keeping perfect, you know, space and pace in the line, and it was hilarious. It was a really lovely, you know, it's kind of sad in a way, like, you know, he didn't find his family, but and then some young kids saw him, and they I think they took him home. Just trying to figure out where I want to go. I'll go feed the afro duck, I suppose. Never enough time. I do need to see the one-legged ducks. I'll go see the afro duck first. So yeah, I've had a few ducklings I've taken back, taken home, and then sometimes I hand them over to this person who takes in ducklings and has a little duckling sanctuary they run from their home, and it's a really nice feeling, you know. It's easy to get cynical, isn't it, and say, oh, this is a simulation, and that's the most demoralising thing of all for me. I can almost see evil saying, this is a simulation, you know, just so that you'll be like, oh fuck everything, like, what's the point, and get all kind of nihilistic about everything. But it does feel good for me, at least, to help an animal. You know, it literally helps me to help them. One of my little ducktopian scoundrel buddies, he grabbed this fantail. Like, fantail is it's a native species bird here, and he grabbed this bird, and he like was running around with it in his beak, and I was like, oh yeah, drop it, and he dropped it, but the bird was in shock, and I took him home, and yeah, just that feeling while I was taking the bird home, it was a small relief, you know. I felt like this very pleasant, warm energy. I had another moment. I don't know if anyone finds this interesting, just sharing a few of my little interesting moments from the last couple of years in the park. I was walking by this grate down here one day, and it was like there was a Charles Xavier duckling in there. I'll just check it now, actually, because yeah, sorry, I was walking by that grate, and I just got this idea out of nowhere to check the grate, and there was a little duckling in there, and he was still alive, and they get washed in there. There's no cover over it, so I scooped him up in my bike helmet, and I took that one home, and then I think I took him to that vet, the free vet, and they find someone to raise them, and yeah, that was just strange. I thought, where did that idea come from, to check the grate? And then I put some big rocks in front of it, like enough room for the water to still drain, but to block the ducklings, and the next day the gardeners have removed the rocks, so you know, I don't know, they don't seem to mind about ducklings ending up in there. Here they are, the usual suspects. Man, a year ago there used to be this mob of about 70, probably 70 ducks. Here's the screedy white duck. There was one ultra assertive duck. That was the word I was looking for the other day. And he would just snatch this bag and like thrash it around and spread the seed everywhere. It's pretty funny. It's interesting that the male ducks, they try to be kind of more stoic and they won't grab the seed, but the females, they'll just like run up and like can't resist it. Not saying that's the same with humans at all. I wonder what happened to my duck buddies from last year that grew up. It's a pity there's no way to like mark them without hurting them, because it would have been would have been cool to see like how they were doing. There was 3 families of ducklings that I spent every day with for about 4 months, and they'll follow me everywhere, and like they really trusted me. And it just would have been nice to see what became of them. Is that General Afro duck calling out? So I'm not sure what to make of General Afro duck. Here he is. Like, what the deal is with him. His afro is definitely getting bigger. Man, the touch of a duck is really nice. I'm sorry, bear with me, I have to get my other seed bag out. I've got the like 50 caliber sawed off, it's a 5 kilo bag actually, with a sawed off top for like easy access. Take it easy, duck. It's funny, man, like I talked to the gardener here once, and it was just like a few minutes of conversation, and one of the ducks nicked the seed bag from the side pocket and legged it down to the river and like emptied it within like the short time of the conversation, and it wasn't entirely full. I think it was about half full, but so them and hit like that one duck and about 4 others, they just emptied it. Funny little buggers. Not sure where to go now. It's a tough call. Like, I can go down here and see the pecans, or I go and see the one-legged ducks, because after dark they're a little bit skittish, and they sometimes come up when you rattle the seed bag. I feel like a bit of a creep confessing this, but like, hey, what's that? Oh, I thought it was a duckling. It's just it's a normal, regular duck, just making strange high-pitched sounds. Whoops, I think I spooked that one. Yeah, I feel like a bit of a creep confessing, but like, there was an island where there was like mother duck would be every night, and I think it was like early spring, and I was a cold and lonely bird feeder man, and so I rattled the seed bag, and I knew they were all asleep, and they all came off the island, like mother duck, and then all the little ducklings woke up, and they weren't actually that little by then. They were about maybe 6 weeks old, and they all came out and like warmed my my cold hand. You know, if any of you have like that freeze mode from the trauma and anxiety, or induced anxiety with the frequencies, so you end up with these ice cold hands. Far out, Aphrodite chased me all this way. So anyway, it was really lovely, the sensation of 8 warm duck necks on my hands. I mean, that shit is just fucking magic. It's like priceless, that sensation, you know. No amount of like gazing at a blue screen and getting a dopamine high will substitute for that. It's that feeling of warmth and, I don't know, like safety. It was just magic. I didn't come down and do it every day after that. I try to like respect the ducks and their, not like corrupt their behaviour too much, but I mean, it's a fine line, eh? Like, there might be purists out there saying like, how dare you feed them any seed, you know? But it's a broken system, eh? And you know, the ducks don't have as much food anymore, so I think it's okay to feed them a bit sometimes. It's damn fun anyway. I'll turn the mic around so you can hear the full diagnoses. I'm sorry about the audio, can't be helped. Sorry about the audio, it really can't be helped. It's a directional microphone, so yeah, I have to spin it around sometimes. One last little story before I head off. Those white ducks, they were the children of the other white duck that you saw earlier. The other white duck had a partner, but sadly it passed away like last year. You know, that's another story there. Didn't know whether to help it or not, but I figured it's better just to let it die in the park where it's at home, rather than stress fest to the vet or something. It's a tough call, to make the decision what's right. Anyways, one dark and stormy night on the weekend, I think it was a Sunday night, I biked out of the park and this car sped off out of the car park, and the two white ducks were quacking loudly and shoulder to shoulder running around in a state of fear kind of after the car. And I think they're actually dropping off dropping off the ducks, like those ducks were their pets. They'd taken them like from the park when they were ducklings, because there were all these ducklings that those white pecans had, and they'd just disappear because they're lovely little golden ducklings. I got like 20 seconds left before this time's out. So I brought them over to my little duck tribe that I knew, and they chilled right out, and they ended up coming into the park, and they never had a reunion with their parents, but I don't think they would have recognised each other anyway, probably. Sorry, time's up on this one. I only get like half an hour. Anyway, a few little tales from the last couple of years in the park.